Hi everyone, my name is Bobby, and for my investigative object presentation, I'm going to be speaking about my friend Liam Taylor's memorial that was created by his friends and family in Cambria. Liam, known to many as Skinny or Alex, was one of the simplest and kindest people I had ever met in my life. I met him when I was about 10 years old, as we both grew up around Cayucos and attended the junior lifeguards program together. We became better friends these last couple summers, especially the most recent one, where we both worked as instructors for the same program we had done in Cayucos when we were children. Skinny was always smiling and happy, strumming on his ukulele or cruising along on the rolling waves, and his kindness and innocence only made his death that much more tragic. He passed away in a very sudden and unexpected surfing accident at the age of 19 years old, where he fell awkwardly on his neck. Despite his friend's best efforts to revive him, he did not make it. Memorials are a form of art that allow us to reflect on past events, positive and negative. Looking towards our past allows us to accept past events and move forward in a more positive way. Skinny may not be here with us on Earth anymore, but his memory lives on through many artworks and celebrations dedicated to him. 2 paddle outs were held in his memory, one in Cambria and the other in Santa Monica, where his death also struck people very hard, as he had many friends out there because of college. He also had a plaque being placed on the Cayucos Pier, among many other artworks done to commemorate his life. However, the piece I've chosen to focus on today is the makeshift memorial that was created for him by his friends and family on the bluffs of Moonstone Beach in Cambria, which is the location where his surfing accident occurred. Following his passing, many people contributed to the creation of the freestanding sculpture seen here. As you can observe, it is built primarily around 2 surfboards, one laying horizontally and the other one standing vertically. These surfboards symbolize his love and spiritual connection to the ocean, one that many in our area can relate to as well. Covering these boards are small statements written by many of the people who knew him, expressing their sadness or thanking him for being the person he was. On the standing surfboard, there hung a peace sign, created by tying together small pieces of driftwood. This was a powerful piece of the work for me, as it not only showed his connection to the coast, but also reassured people that although he had passed from this world, he was now at peace. The surrounding area was covered with flowers and candles and other small items, which were tributes from people to show that he had many individuals who cared for him and were mourning his death. These items gave the area a variety of shade of color, such as pinks and greens, which really brought the area to life and gave light to people in a seemingly helpless moment in time. Pictures lay littered among the flowers, and these were beautiful works of art in themselves. Some hand-drawn, and some taken using photography. Many portrayed Skinny, his friends, and family, or both. The scene as a whole was a beautiful expression of memory, pain, and hope, that his soul was now at peace and in a better place. Human beings are especially vulnerable to tragedy. Our high intelligence and ability to remember things from long in the past allow tragic events to devastate us. And when this occurs, one of the things we look towards to channel emotion is art. As I read in Bonder's book, on memory, trauma, public space, monuments, and memorials, we create this art not only to help us heal, but to allow us to remember the event that took place and proceed towards our future with caution, a reminder of how such a tragic event can repeat itself if we are not careful. These memorials bring us comfort, as it is essentially a memory that is preserved in physical form, a way for us to look into the past and feel the emotions that may have since escaped us. They are a way for people who have passed on from our world to continue to have a physical presence in our life and be there when we need to be reminded of their memory. As humans, we possess a psychological tendency to feel the need to grasp and hold on to memories. And the preservation of such through artwork is a key element in allowing us to do so. After reading the journal New Directions in Folklore by Grider, I determined that the type of shrine being discussed in this presentation is considered a spontaneous shrine, or one that is put in place quickly after an incident. It is temporary because of the fragile nature of the objects it is created from. Flowers, paper, and wood are all subject to the elements and will not last an extended period of time. In fact, at the time of this presentation, Skinny's shrine is already gone. This is beautiful in its own sense, as it is a metaphor for life and allows for full appreciation, because you are reminded that nothing will last forever. However, the works I will be comparing to Skinny's shrine are in fact permanent memorials. The first work I want to discuss is the 9/11 Memorial, and all of the following information was gathered off of its official website, which you can find by typing in 911memorial.org. First and foremost, the tribute in light really amazes me. These images are breathtaking, and I like that this is an event which only occurs once a year. It occurs when two bright blue tinted lights are projected far up into the sky from the location where the towers once stood. It signifies to me that we are strong as a country, and that the memory of the towers and the events that occurred on that day in 2001 will never be forgotten. It makes it a special and breathtaking occurrence, and reminds me of the paddle outs that were held for Skinny, as it is a rare event that makes onlookers and participants feel a sense of hope and peace. The Reflecting Absence Memorial consists of two reflecting pools where the old towers once stood, and is engraved with the names of the Americans who lost their lives that day. It is also the largest man-made waterfall in the United States. This is a powerful way to remember and honor those who lost their lives in this senseless act of violence. This memorial will stand long into our future and constantly reminds people of the tragedy that once occurred there and how we were strong enough to persist through it and set our focus towards our future. It is similar to Skinny's shrine, as it is engraved with personal inscriptions attributed to the remembrance of the tragic event that occurred there, and people in both cases, or onlookers, can see just how many lives were affected. The second piece I would like to discuss is the Bulu Gulu, which is described in Chapter 8 of our textbook, Exploring Art by Lazari and Schleicher. An African piece from the 19th century, it is created from wood, and then covered with metals such as bronze and copper. It appears to have an oval-shaped human face and is wearing a headdress. These types of works were used to protect the remains of deceased ancestors and ward off evil. In a way, this draws a parallel to Skinny's shrine, as he was killed in a surfing accident. However, ironically, there stand two surfboards on the beach, beautifully decorated, with a peace sign hanging from them. It was a reminder that his spirit was there watching over the people surfing the very wave that took his life. Skinny's memorial was not only a vibrant and earthly piece of art, but a symbol of hope and peace in a community that was very shaken up by the tragedy. People were able to observe the amount of love everyone had for Alex, and had the option of contributing something of their own to show their support. Using art to reflect on the past and remember events and loved ones is very important in human culture, and without this, we would have much less ability to cope with past events, let alone recognize their existence over generations. This marks the end of my presentation. You can find the sources for all my information below in the bibliography. I'm just going to speak briefly on the day of Liam's death, and then I'm going to leave a link to the pictures from the day of his memorial and paddle out in Cambria, so you guys can check that out if you want to. You may close the video now if you'd wish. Liam passed away late last summer of 2017. He was surfing Moonstone Beach with his friends in the afternoon when he took an awkward fall on his neck. It was a very casual day. He was a really experienced surfer and had surfed much bigger and in harsher conditions, so it really was a freak accident and shocked everybody that knew him. He broke his neck, and he was out with friends who were lifeguards just like him. They pulled him in, they started CPR immediately, called 911, did everything they could. The extent of his injuries were just too great, and he died that evening. He was a really, really genuinely good guy, really simple, kind-hearted. He worked as a lifeguard to help protect other people in the water, and what happened to him is really unfortunate. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll go ahead and leave that link below, and you guys can check that out.